Hi, I'm Jay Garstecki. Welcome to Operation Fishing Freedom. Join me in the boat today as we feature veteran military police officer Bryan Anderson.
Military veterans protect our great nation. Pro anglers Jay Garstecki and Ben Olson made it their duty to honor our heroes. They want to share soldiers' stories. The perfect place to carry out this mission? A fishing boat. Get ready to launch Operation Fishing Freedom. Brought to you by Great Clips.
As we cruise down the Chicago River, we share the story of former Army Sergeant Bryan Anderson.
We had 60 IEDs going off every day. And so it became, when we get hit instead of if we get hit. It was October 23rd, 2005. I felt like I got smacked in the head really hard. There's blood on my face and the flies like buzzing around, and so the first thing I did was I went to go wipe my face, and that's when I noticed that my index fingertip was missing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I look at my friends and I look back at that. I'm like, yeah, but they're not freaking out over that. And I was looking at this hand and a fly landed in my left eye. And because I was looking at this hand, I went to go wipe it away with my left hand. And I'm just like, whoosh. And as I did that, I just whiffed. And that's when I looked and my sleeve was hanging there and blood dripping down, and I'm just kind of like, oh, And as I looked down, they tried forcing my head back down to the ground. But I saw what had happened, and I was just kind of like, oh. And I let out a whole string of swear words inside my head, and then kind of came to this conclusion like, yeah, no, that did not just happen. Nope, nope,
Chicago, Illinois, a city known for its arts, deep dish pizza, and its beautiful lakeside skyline. Today, we look to add fishing to the list.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, buddy.
Look at this boat.
Yeah. Ready to go catch some fish?
Yeah.
Need help getting in the boat?
No, I'm cool.
Army veteran Bryan Anderson and host Jay Garstecki head downtown on the Chicago River.
I've never really heard anybody talk about fishing on the river.
It's amazing. What more can you ask for?
It's a beautiful day. I just hope I catch a fish. Yeah.
Bryan grew up near Chicago alongside his twin brother Bobby.
Always had to one-up each other. Like, my fish is bigger than yours.
A constant theme between Bryan and Bobby, competition.
Growing up, we played baseball for 10 years. We always wanted to be like ninjas and be able to flip, and found out that we were naturals at it. We didn't do baseball anymore. We just stuck with gymnastics. Like, we realized we were really good at it, and so we focused all our time on gymnastics. And being a gymnast has helped me so much now. And not putting a box around myself or limits around myself. Like saying, oh, you don't have any legs. You can't go climb a tree. How do you know until you try?
Bryan has done much more than just try. Biking, four-wheeling, snowboarding, motorcycling, wakeboarding, rock climbing, skydiving, and much more. Bryan has made it his goal to live life to the fullest and be an inspiration not only to veterans, but to everyone. And now we can add fishing.
You got one?
Got one.
Oh, nice, a crappie. Good size, man.
Hey, buddy.
Good size crappie. Way to go, bud. First one.
Born and raised in a suburb of Chicago, Bryan pursued change.
I love this city, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to experience more than just this city.
He would find that experience by becoming a part of the United States Army.
I had been out of high school for about 3 years.
And in 2001, he prepared to ship out for basic training.
The night before, we were at my aunt's house, and we had a party like it was the end of the world, and you'll never see us again, and kind of thing like that. And I woke up to my aunt running down the stairs, screaming, "Bryan, oh my God, turn on the TV, turn on the TV." And I turned on the TV, and it was just kind of like, whoa.
Another plane just flew into the second tower.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world.
You know what? It really sucks that our country got attacked, but at least we get to be the ones to do something about it. It made me proud to be there. When we got deployed to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas first.
Good? Yes, sir.
And we were there for about 3 months. We came back and they said, all right, guys, you know, we got a few months to prepare ourselves, but we're going to be heading to Iraq.
Operation Fishing Freedom is brought to you by Great Clips, Recon Boats, and by EVINRUDE Outboards.
Coming from an environment in a place where you are defending your country, where you are in combat, how do you just come back to this place where it is grocery stores and traffic?
So there's a study that was done and talks about the profound effects that fishing specifically, but the outdoors in general, has on post-traumatic stress. We've had veterans actually say that by watching our show, they've realized it's okay to ask for help. Ben and I don't take any money out of this organization. Every dollar that comes back into Operation Fishing Freedom is spent bringing additional veteran stories to the air. If you'd like to get some cool Operation Fishing Freedom gear,
or simply make a donation so that we can take more veterans fishing,
log on to our website, operationfishingfreedom.com.
Most people come to Chicago for the city life. We've come for the fishing.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Catfish. Way to go, man.
that's freaking awesome. Hey, buddy. It's all right. You can be all right.
Positive words from a positive person.
I was an MP, military police officer. And on March 10th, 2003, we flew into Kuwait. Like when you landed there, there was just this vast emptiness, nothingness, as far as the eye could see in every direction. And for me, that was like the farthest I felt away from home. Sat there for like 9 days, 10 days, and then went into Iraq.
Entering Iraq, Bryan would face his first battle, the fear of the unknown.
Fighting or going into combat. We were trained for that, ready for that, knew what to do. It was the things we didn't know about, meaning like, am I gonna live in a building or a tent? How hot is it gonna be? Am I gonna have enough food and water? How often am I gonna be able to take a shower? Things like that. And when you're in that situation, you kind of start getting a little complacent and feeling like this is BS and we shouldn't be here, and you know, what are we doing here? Why don't we take care of our own country first? All that kind of changed the day we went into Iraq. It was the last thing we had expected to see, but it changed everything. And when we went from that line from Kuwait into Iraq, there was nothing but women and children lining the streets for like 3 miles, screaming and cheering, so thankful that we were there to do something. That's what it was about. That's what justified everything that we did over there. We were there for a year, came home for 8 months, and then we went back for another year. Second deployment, everybody's out and about living their lives. It's not like they're wearing uniforms or anything.
Right. You can't identify them.
An unidentifiable enemy. Even harder to spot in the darkness of night.
We were on a convoy and it was nighttime and we got ambushed. We just started getting shot at, and like, you just start hearing the pings off the truck and you're just like, whoa, what's that? And all of a sudden, gunners starting to shoot, and you're like, whoa. It's because I was a driver. The whole 2 years I was in Iraq. And so, like, I wanted a part of the action, and so I just pulled out my window, pulled out my pistol, and I'm like, because it's dark, and all you can see are muzzle flashes. And so you try to shoot at the muzzle flash, but you don't know if you hit it or not, or...
Operation Fishing Freedom is brought to you by Great Clips, SKB Cases, and by St. Croix Rods.
How you doing?
What branch were you in, brother?
Army. Thank you for your service and all that. You guys have a great day. Stay safe.
Cool.
Hey, no worries, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys, man.
See, now, if you were filming that, we could do like a teaser of like, uh-oh, we got in trouble.
If you'd like to see more behind-the-scenes footage and bonus content,
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you're a U.S. military veteran living in Illinois, Wisconsin, or Minnesota,
log on to takeevetfishing.org to find an event near you.
As a military police officer, Bryan Anderson found himself alongside the Iraqi police.
This second year, our mission was different, and it was all about the Iraqi police. We were police academy instructors, just taught a class, taught the Iraqis everything we knew about being police officers. We started going out every day. We had like a 6-mile radius in southeast Baghdad with 6 different police stations in there. And we would go to all of them every day. And in that 6-mile radius, we had 60 IEDs going off every day. Every day a piece of equipment was being destroyed in some way, shape, or form. And so then it kind of became, you know, when you get hit, instead of if you get hit, is it going to be one of those stories where, you know, shrapnel flew right by my face, but I didn't come out with a scratch? Or is it going to hurt you a little bit? Or is it going to kill you? Soldiers don't really think about coming back halfway. Like, you think you're either going to make it or you're not. It was October 23rd, 2005. Loaded up our truck and we started headed to our first Iraqi police station. I was like slouched in my seat, and then I had both my hands on the bottom of the steering wheel just like this, and I was just like chilling, you know? Talking with Kenny, Gietzel's in the gun. I decided to grab a cigarette, stick it in my mouth, and go to light it. And it was almost as if me lighting the lighter triggered the explosion, because I saw the spark from the lighter and the flash from the explosion at the exact same time. They grabbed me and pulled me out, and I got like a really good fresh breath of air. So I was like, all right, well, what happened? Why did I need to be pulled out? And so like, there's blood on my face and the flies were like buzzing around, and so the first thing I did was I went to go wipe my face, and that's when I noticed that my index fingertip was missing. And as I was looking at that, a fly landed into my left eye, and I went to go wipe it away with my left hand, and I just whiffed, and I went, oh crap. But I still don't think it would cause them to act the way that they were acting. And then that's when I decided to look down. And as I looked down, they tried forcing my head back down to the ground. But I saw what had happened, and I was just kind of like, oh. And And I let out a whole string of swear words inside my head, and then kind of came to this conclusion like, yeah, no, that did not just happen. Nope, nope, But then at the same time, like, I really just knew that it wasn't a dream and that it really did just happen.
This week's nonprofit of the week, Homes for Our Troops. Their mission is to build and donate specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans. Go to their website for more information.
If you'd like to personally thank a vet that you saw in one of our episodes,
Or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode,
log on to our website, operationfishingfreedom.com.
Operation Fishing Freedom is brought to you by Pat Harrison Outdoors, Power Pole, and by Temple Bay Lodge.
Soldiers don't really think about coming back halfway. Like, you think you're either gonna make it or you're not.
October 23rd, 2005 would appear as just another day.
The bomb cut my hand and my legs off instantly. All my friends are running back and forth from me to the truck like they'd all just seen a ghost. Fumbling around with the medical equipment, freaking out, and I hadn't said anything yet, and I knew that I needed to say something. And then I don't know what came over me or why I said it, it just came out. And I reached up and I grabbed my buddy's arm and I'm like, holy crap, dude, do you ever think I'll get laid again? And he just started laughing. And he got right back to it though, and put the tourniquets on perfect. And
What's the heart rate?
Bryan did as he's always done. He focused on the positive.
They helivac you out, or?
yeah, we laid there for 12 minutes waiting for the helicopter to land. And it hurt to breathe and it was hard to breathe. Little air is better than no air, and so I just... And I knew I was only like a 2-minute flight to the Baghdad ER. That's where I felt comfortable enough to kind of just relax, and that's where I passed out. It felt like 3 seconds from the time I closed my eyes to the time I opened them again. And when I opened them, my mom's face was there. I'm like, Mom!
And he's like, Mom. And the way he said Mom, I was like, okay, his brain's there, because that was him.
And I'm thinking, like, what idiot brought my mom to Iraq? Like, that's not cool. Not at all.
I'm like, oh my God, does he know what happened to him? So I'm like, oh my, like, I don't want to be the one. I'm telling my husband, I'm like, I don't know what he knows. And I said, do you remember what happened? And he said, well, I know I lost both of my legs and my hand. I'm like, okay, like, not that that's a good thing, but I was glad he knew.
She goes, it's 7 days later and you're at Walter Reed in Washington, D.C. I'm like, what? Wait, I'm back in the United States already? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And I like wake up as a triple amputee, kind of like, hey, okay, now what? I mean, yeah, I'm alive, but now what? I had no idea what I'd be able to do or what kind of life I'd have.
So I said, you know you only have 2 choices, right? And he said, yeah, roll over and die or move on. I'm like, and what are you gonna do? And he was like, well, of course, move on.
I did things just to say that I could do them again, like I've done them, like wakeboarding and all that.
Bryan would do much more than just move on. See, atop all of his adventures, Bryan would become an actor and stuntman in several movies and TV shows. Programs like CSI, The Wire, and American Sniper. But most importantly, he gives back to the community.
I go give speeches, I go to fundraising events, motorcycle rides.
Bryan found his calling through veteran PTSD organizations such as USA Cares and the Gary Sinise Foundation.
I'm one of Gary Sinise's ambassadors, which they do great things for soldiers too. Like, they're both amazing foundations.
A veteran continuing to serve.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come out and fish with us today.
It's a good day. I'm sorry I'm not a big fisherman.
I want to give you a little something to say thank you for your service. I'm going to turn you into a fisherman.
Wait, are you kidding me?
I'm going to turn you into a fisherman after all. This is for you. This is your own custom rod.
It's got my name on it.
It's got your name on it. No fisherman would be official without their own Operation Fishing Freedom jersey. So it's got your name, Bryan Anderson, on the front and Anderson on the back. And
oh, wow.
I can't say thank you enough.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is so cool.
Bryan's physical appearance may be forever changed, but his spirit remains the same.
You know what? Just gonna do what I was doing for me. So I would jump on skateboards and just go and be like, okay, I can do this.
Prove to all of us that no matter the situation, people can overcome.
If you'd like to thank the veteran that you saw in today's episode, log on to OperationFishingFreedom.com and click on the Thank a Vet button. We'll make sure they get your message.